this is Dr. Sarala. Welcome to Millet Magic. Karnataka cuisine offers a diverse range of dishes with diverse flavors. Some popular dishes include Bisibele Bhat, Mysore Masala Dosa, Neer Dosa and Akki Roti, which are already up on Millet Magic. Links in the description box below. Today's recipe is Wangi Bath, which is yet another delicious Karnataka dish. It's a spicy rice made with brinjal and a special spice blend, which is a truly unique combination of flavors and is one of my personal favorites. So get ready to enjoy brinjal in a new avatar. The first and the most important ingredient that you will need to make Wangi Bath is Wangi Bath powder. Though it may seem convenient and easy to buy masala powders from the store, considering that the ground masala powders are often adulterated, it's best to make them at home. And of course, the taste is going to be uncomparable when it is homemade. The best part is, if you invest the time and efforts to make Wangi Bath powder once, you can store it and use it for more than 3 to 4 months. So here are the ingredients that you will need to make the tastiest Wangi Bath powder at home. Half a cup of Chana Dal and an equal amount, that is half a cup of Urad Dal, 3/4 cup of dhania seeds, 2 cups of dried red chilies. You can use a combination of the spicy variety and the variety which gives color based on your requirement of spice. Personally, I like spicy food and I don't really give much importance to the color. So here I am using the entire 2 cups of the spicy variety of dried red chilies. You also need an inch of cinnamon, 3 to 4 pieces of stone flour, which is also known as pattar ka phool, rati pua or kal hua in different languages. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's a type of lichen which grows on the surface of stones during the moist rainy seasons. Another spice which we require is 4 to 5 pieces of Marathi moggu, which are also known as kapok buds. They appear like long but are slightly bigger in size. The Amazon link to buying these 2 spices, which you may not be familiar with, are given in the description box below. You also need 1.5 cup of grated dry coconut and a small amount of hing. The first step to making any good masala powder is roasting. All the ingredients need to be individually roasted well on a low to medium flame in an iron kadai. Using an iron kadai is essential because iron helps to evenly distribute the heat. So let's begin by roasting the chana dal until it turns golden brown. Set the roasted chana dal aside and proceed to roasting the urad dal. You will need to constantly keep stirring to ensure even roasting of the entire amount of dal. Once the urad dal slightly changes color, set it aside and proceed to roasting the dhania seeds with 2 to 3 drops of oil. Roasting all the ingredients well also ensures that any remaining moisture which may have gotten absorbed into the spices is all removed and improves the shelf life of your masala powder. Roast the dhania well to get rid of any raw flavor. Set the roasted dhania seeds aside to cool along with the roasted dals. Once the dhania seeds are roasted, add half a teaspoon of oil into the kadai and lightly roast the hing for half a minute. Then add in the cinnamon stick, the Marathi moggu and the stone flour. Roasting also helps to bring out all the aroma and flavor from the spices. Set aside the roasted spices too. Next, proceed to roasting the dry red chilies with half a teaspoon of oil. Make sure that you have removed the stems of the chilies and broken the red chilies into half or smaller pieces. By doing this, the seeds inside also get roasted. Once you turn off the flame, add in the grated dry coconut into the hot kadai. The dry coconut does not need to be roasted as such, but putting it into the hot kadai removes any moisture present and makes the dry coconut crisp so that it can be ground into a powder easily. Keep the grated coconut separately. Do not mix with the rest of the ingredients. Cooling the ingredients completely is a very important step so that the ingredients do not start releasing their oils when put into the mixer and form clumps. Now into the mixer jar go all the roasted and cooled ingredients except the dry coconut. Grind into a fine powder. Once the roasted ingredients have been powdered, now add in the grated dry coconut and again pulse into a fine powder. Your aromatic homemade Wangi Bath powder is now ready. You can store this Wangi Bath powder in an airtight jar inside the freezer for 3 to 4 months. The above mentioned quantities will be sufficient to make Wangi Bath powder to serve 12 to 14 people. Now once you have the Wangi Bath powder ready, the next step is to prepare and keep aside cooked millet rice. Today I am using 1 cup of kodo millet, but you can use any of the 5 positive millets to make Wangi Bath. My mom prefers to use kodo millet since it's the biggest in size amongst the 5 positive grains. I prefer to use either little millet or barnyard millet because they are the most neutral in taste and don't add any flavor of their own to the dish. Whichever millet you're using, the first step would be to soak it for 8 hours. The best way to cook millet rice, especially if you're making bhat or pulao, to ensure that the grains are fluffy, is to use the steaming method. The detailed step-by-step video is already up on Millet Magic. Do watch it if you already haven't. Then spread out the cooked millet rice in a plate for about 5 minutes so that all the excess water evaporates. You can now see how well all the grains are separate from each other and it is ideal for making bhat. Moving on to the other ingredients you will need to make Wangi Bhat. The hero of the dish, Wangi, which means brinjal. The long and thin variety of brinjal is better suited for making Wangi Bhat. The purple ones taste even better if available. You can cut up around 6 brinjals into thin long pieces. Once brinjal is cut, it needs to be submerged in salt water so that it does not turn black. You would also need 1 capsicum cut into cubes, a bunch of methi leaves which have been finely chopped, 1 medium-sized potato cut into cubes, 2 fistfuls of green peas. You may boil the potato and the peas together and keep them aside. And finally, to add a little bit of sour element to the dish, we'll be using a dash of lemon juice. And we need some cooking oil. Here I'm using safflower oil which has been extracted in bull-driven ghani. And lastly, we require salt to taste. Now in a huge kadai, heat 8 to 10 tablespoons of oil. Add in a few mustard seeds and allow them to pop. Then add in the finely chopped methi leaves and saute for a minute. Add in half a teaspoon of turmeric and then the cut cubes of capsicum. After another minute of sauteing, add in the chopped brinjal pieces. With occasional stirring and the flame being low to medium, allow the vegetables to cook. It may take about 4 to 5 minutes for the brinjal to become soft. Next to go in are the cooked potato and green peas. Then add salt to taste and mix everything together. Allow the vegetables to absorb the salt. Once all the vegetables are cooked perfectly, it's time to add in the Wangi Bhat powder. I am making Wangi Bhat using 1 cup of soaked millet grains. For this, I would require about 1/3 of the prepared quantity of Wangi Bhat powder. Mix well and allow to cook on sim for another 2 minutes so that all the flavors get incorporated together. You can make many variations of this dish by using different vegetables with the same Wangi Bhat powder. Oh, and this tastes amazing with millet chapati too. I used to love to roll this into the chapatis and carry it for lunch. Now transfer the prepared Wangi Bhat mix onto the millet rice which we had set aside. Now using your hands, mix everything together. You'll need to mix thoroughly so that the entire amount of rice is evenly coated. And there you have it. Wangi Bhat is ready to be served. A drizzle of melted ghee and a dash of lemon juice to balance the flavors. A unique dish which can be prepared quickly if you already have the Wangi Bhat powder made and stored. It's one of my mother's go-to dishes when we're expecting guests at home, because everyone is sure to love it. The best part is you can pack it into your lunchbox and carry it too. It tastes good even after it has cooled down. We'll be back soon with more interesting millet recipes. Until then, happy cooking!